Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Against the Storm. I think it is high time that we ramp up the difficulty for this video, because we've been winning very consistently on veteran difficulty as of late. Plus, we have a lot of artifacts and machinery to upgrade the Smoldering City. What I don't have are a lot of food stockpiles, and one way of getting more is to simply play at a higher difficulty. So we could play over down this direction of the Coral Forest, or we can mix things up and go to, let's say, the Marshlands. I think I'm going to do that. There is a treasure chest nearby, so hopefully we are going to find something awesome out of this arrangement. Now, on the Marshlands, we are going to be getting, let's see, instead of 70, we'll get 84 food for finishing this out. All right, that's not bad. Plus, we have extra gathering speed for every 2 workers on a gathering camp, and large resource nodes in Forbidden Glades. All right, that seems fine. When we chop down the trees, we'll get some mushrooms and we'll get some leather passively. That could be useful to make some cloth and therefore clothing, or water skins. That's also good. Eggs, stone, roots, meat, insects, blah, blah, blah. Clay as well, interesting. And grain. I do not see any sign of herbs, berries, plant fiber. Those are the big things that I think I'm missing at the moment. Maybe vegetables as well. Okay, so this gives me some idea what we want to do. We could go for the herbalist camp as our starting blueprint with my 5 embarkation points to pick up the mushrooms, and that's kind of tempting for some food. That said, we wouldn't get an absolute ton of value out of this. Would it be better to bring along, let's say, some extra coal, maybe some wood, and maybe some food? I think the answer to that might be yes. As far as caravans, well, this one starts with 12 tools. That feels like a no-brainer. All right, some beavers and some lizards it is. This doesn't seem like a bad setup, frankly. Let's go. All right, what are our mysteries? We still have 1 positive and 4 negative, even on Viceroy difficulty. Let's see. 3 global resolve for 3 minutes every time we open a glade. Could be helpful in a pinch. No contact. Impossible to reach the Citadel. Interesting. Okay, and gaining reputation does not lower impatience. Only active during the storm, though, so we have to be careful about that. That's not so bad, actually. Just don't gain reputation during a storm. Fine, we can do that. Let's see. We are going to have more burning at the ancient altar. We have villagers consuming extra food, and villagers have a chance of perishing every 15 seconds. Awful. Okay, not the worst thing I've ever seen in the world, though. Let's take a look at our starting location. We have some meat, we have roots, we have eggs. Plenty of food to start. And then I see 1, 2, 3 glades, 4 glades very close by that we can start chopping into. Y'all know how this works. We're going to start with 2 woodcutters camps over this way, 1 over here, and let's say 1 over, I guess, here's fine. Let's get ourselves a little bit of food gathering. The harvester is not what we're looking for and never will be. The scavengers camp will work for a couple of different food sources, though, so let's do something here. And we also, of course, are going to need to get a lot of other basics. But let's start with these 3. And then we'll place down things like our roads. And I'm going to try not touching my blueprints until we have a need for it. Why pick it up now if we don't have the workers to make it work anyway, right? Also, I'm going to turn off the burning of coal temporarily. We've got 60, but that is enough to deal with at least a handful of different events. If we are lucky, we will see. Let's go ahead and get some beavers assigned. Let's get at least a few lizards. We might have to reduce this. Now, what is the main downside of going for Viceroy difficulty? The biggest thing that I know of is that you tend to get a lot more hostility. The difficulty multiplier goes up by 3. We already had it multiplied by 2, so it's not like it's a huge step up from veteran, but at least it's a fair bit, so we have to really watch that hostility level. More negative events are going to happen in this game than anywhere else. First cornerstone comes in, moldy grain seeds. Gain mushrooms for every 10 grain produced. If we gather this passively, we'll get some extra food, and that's possible, okay? This is not going to do me any good because I'm not making herbs unless I do some farming. Trade logs gain additional trade route slots, and traders arrive faster. I think between all of these, I guess I'll just go for the extra food. This does mean that I need to get a building that lets me start either farming grain or gathering it from the ground. One of the two, and it just translates into basically 30% more food. I'm pretty good with that. All right, orders are available. What do we have? Crack it open the glades. I'm going to go ahead and do that one. Next, have Happy Lizards. Possibly doable here. I don't know if I care about the provisions and the crops. This is okay. I like the idea of getting the extra newcomers, but parts are hard to come by. I'm going to go ahead and pick that one up. And then crack into 5 glades, or get a trading post and get some amber, get more goodies, including some tools. I like this perk right here, and we will do it, but I also want to get into as few glades as possible, and 5 might be more than I'm going to do. We might only do 4. So let's go for the trading post instead. All right, not too bad. We can at least take a peek at what our first blueprint is going to be. There's a furnace. That one's new for us, I think. Copper bars, bricks, and pie. Actually good for me because copper's on this map. So I like the idea of going for this, and in fact, I'm willing to pick that one up. I think that's fine. A carpenter and a way of making tools. Well, yes. Okay, seems solid. And clothier, provisioner, the brickyard. None of these are outstanding. The provisioner could be good, though. We won't pick that last one until I have a better sense of what I want to do. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a crude workstation, and let's also get myself a makeshift post. You always need these, at least at the beginning of the game. Actually, the makeshift post might be debatable. Maybe I don't need this one. Let's just get rid of it for now. But the crude workshop, always. We're going to set some temporary limits here of, I think, 10 of every resource. We will allow for leather to be used for fabric. Same with some stone. We don't have any over there. That's fine. Let's assign somebody over there. I'm going to keep a builder around. We might start building out some housing sometime soon. I think the way that this typically works for me is you go for 2 of the woodcutters' camps plus some sort of food gathering plus a crude workstation during the first drizzle. By the time you're in the second clearance, hopefully you're producing enough resources you can start making your first round of housing, so that when you go into the storm, your resolve is still looking pretty nice. That's what I'm going for. So now that we're in a clearance, for example, let's set up some housing like this, and we should also set up some basic decorations, like let's say a park. Darn it, there's a tree in the way. Can I please get rid of that just for the sake of making things look a little bit nicer? The idea being, we already started with 8 pops. All I need to do is get down 1 set of decorations, and boom, the ancient hearth can be upgraded before we even get to the first storm. To me, that seems like a pretty good idea. So let's go ahead and get that set up. Yeah, here we go. See, so we're getting into the first storm, but everyone's resolve is looking nice and fine. Of course, we're at 0% hostility because I had to pull a little bit off of the woodcutters, but that's fine. And we get our upgrade, which means now I have 2 extra global resolve, which allows me to easily put some more people back on woodcutting without having too much issue. Perfect. So I'm going to crack into a glade a little early here. We have a whole mess of insects, okay, plus we've got a large destroyed caravan. Deal with this minus 8 global resolve. That's actually fine for us to deal with as long as it's not during a storm. If we want to, we can get a load of pigments, some reeds, some herbs, and some parts. 8 parts is actually kind of a lot of parts, so I'm very tempted to go for this because it's really hard to find otherwise. But when in doubt, it's also completely fine to go for some reputation, and I don't see an immediate need for any of these except for the parts. I think we're going to go for the reputation, but we're going to wait. Well, we can go ahead and get started on it now. We'll wait until the end of the storm. But once we get some more people, I think we go ahead and do this now. So for our next cornerstone, what do we want? The diligent workers. We can start making barrels passively. I like that. Or, get artifacts for every 2 completed dangerous or forbidden glade events. This is so darn good for the metagame. This is how I managed to farm out like 40 artifacts in a run. I'm tempted to do this. Then again, this is my first time doing Viceroy, and we've got a lot of artifacts. I'm going to go for the over-diligent workers, but it's a really good choice to go for the other one. Anyways-y-hoo, let's go ahead and accept some more people. Harpies, okay. Believe it or not, I think I want more beavers, though. So let's go ahead and assign them over here to do the woodcutting instead of the lizards. And then we'll send some lizards to go and deal with this event. We should be able to tank the resolve, no problem whatsoever. I could even go 1 step further and start favoring the lizards here. Hold on. We've got people assigned here, but I haven't started the investigation. The second I click on this, we lose that 8 resolve. But if I wait 20 seconds, we actually can get this event figured out right now. Let's do that. We just have to wait for a moment. And boom. Okay, now I can stop favoring you, and I can go for the investigation. That's going to reduce everyone's resolve back down. So, happy lizards means I get more lizards, plus some of those parts anyway, and we get the reputation. Beautimous. I think with some of these extra people, I'm going to go ahead and get myself a stonecutter's camp. No, what is over here? What is this? This is copper, darn it. Do we not have a source of stone or clay? I don't think we do, which means I can't actually get any bricks. Well, that's a bit of a problem, because I need bricks for a lot of major construction projects. Alright, well, we're gonna have to crack into some more glades then, I think. Let's go ahead and build out that trading post. We'll get the amber in just a bit anyway. Anything outstanding that I want to buy? I would love to get the small farm. Just unlocking it outright is nice, so we'd have a source of the grain. That said, mold supply, be able to make more grain. If we gather it, that's fine. We just have to get a specific building. I don't really think there's much I can afford to sell is the problem. I don't have an excess of any resource, except for maybe meat. But yeah, I think we have to pass on this, and I'm sad to do it, but I think that's kind of what we have to do. None of these really stand out to me as amazing. I am going to do a reroll here. Forcer Hut, Ranch, Clan Hall, Guild House. Well, if we want to be able to make more meat and leather, that's an option. I don't really feel excited about that. Being able to get my own resin and crystallized dew could be useful. At least it lets me take advantage of fertile soil if it's around. That said, a Clan Hall, that one's pretty good. Camps get extra yields. I think I'm going to take the Clan Hall, and then I was looking for something that could produce like some jerky and stuff. This is going to do it. It's just not going to do it very well. That said, we could also do some pickled goods. And I think you can make wine out of mushrooms. I might be wrong on that, but I think you can. It's not outstanding, but I am going to take the cellar. All right, we're going to take the cellar. None of those are going to get me any new resources like planks or bricks that I don't have access to already. So I feel like that's probably the right call. New orders. Have coal, have building materials. Bada boom. Okay, actually doable. And trade routes. We're not really going for trade this game, I think, so no. Have 2 hubs. Builders carry extra items plus a bunch of tools. Not bad. Have level 1 with 3 settlements. I do like the wildfire essence, but I think this one's achievable and fits what I'm already doing already, so I think that's the better way to go. All right, so do I want to just go ahead and crack into another one of these glades? I need to find some clay and stuff, so I think the answer to that is yes. Even though we're not quite out of this drizzle, and it's a little bit risky to break into this right now, I think that we're going to go ahead and do it and trust that I have enough time to deal with whatever this is. It's a leaking cauldron. All food production, both raw and cooked, is 90% slower. Better to deal with this now while I'm not producing much food. Finish this, planting crops is faster, and we get a lot more grain. My God, I need to get a farm. This could be a very, very, very good event for me. So let's go ahead and crack this one open as well. Did we find clay? No, we found more coal and copper. Dang it, there is stone though. So I can at least make that work for some bricks. They're big deposits here. Yes. What's the building we found over here, by the way? A cooperage. Good for making barrels. Also training gear. Well, that works well with the clan hall that I picked up. Okay, that's going to be helpful at least. And then in these abandoned caches, there's a lot of goodies over here, plus a lot of reputation. If I can start producing a lot of my own tools, we should be able to get a lot of extra grace this particular run. One thing about Viceroy difficulty, by the way, instead of only 13 reputation to win, you need 14. It's not that big of a difference, though, so I'm hoping we're going to be on a roll enough that we'll be able to handle that. We are going to be able to resolve this before the storm, yes. Okay, thankfully. Good. All right, wanted to make sure we didn't accidentally get, like, some reputation during the storm or anything, since we know that's going to cause some issues. But this is now being dealt with, so we're about to have enough amber, which means I can now turn this in for even more tools, plus some biscuits and parts. We're actually doing really well on parts this particular game. That's weird. Trappers camp to get insects. Yes. Oop, foragers camp even better to get grain and insects. This is something we absolutely need to have. It's going to fulfill several different food needs, plus I'm going to be able to stack up some of that grain production boost that we're getting over here. So now I don't necessarily need to do any farming per se, though we would benefit from doing that. But now I'll start getting a lot of grain. Okay, we're about to go into a storm. Level 2 I don't think is that bad. Yeah, we're going to be fine even at level 2 as long as my resolve's okay. So we might pull back a little bit. Yeah, we're going to have to. Pull back a little bit on the woodcutters. Not much else I can do at the moment, though. We also completed 2 glade events, so I can turn this in for, yes, even more tools, plus some people. I'm actually going to hold off on the people until we get out of this storm, because I think the extra folks might almost be enough to kick me right back up to hostility level 2. Remember, hostility goes up not only for the number of glades you crack into, but the number of people in your village in the first place. So you want to be ready for that. All right, now I don't have to crack into a glade right now. I don't have to do it. It's very tempting, but, you know, let's not deal with the hostility right now if I don't need to. Another cornerstone, insects get me pigment. Well, I'm going to be getting insects. I could also get pie and jerky. That's an option, plus reducing hostility. All 3 of these are actually going to be very good for me. Let's try to remember how I get the pie. It's at the furnace. Furnace. Pie is going to take flour, I think, plus it's going to take some sort of a stuffing. This would definitely solve my food issues for probably the entire game, and I can start using meat and flour together. Alternatively, pigments are something I can't produce normally anyway, and having extra is nice. I think I'm going to go for Sahilda's secret cookbook here. I don't know if that's the right choice, but I'm going to go for it. A little bit of plant fiber is not that helpful. More leather is probably okay. And let's just get some harpies up and a-running. I think that's going to be fine for me. Plus, we'll get 3 more people and, yes, more tools. All right, with this reputation, we can get a butcher, a cooperage, a smithy, and a forester's hut. None of these do what I need. Though I will say, because we can plant faster, having some method of farming is not the worst thing in the world. I'm trying to remember, this map does have farming ground on it, right? Doesn't it? I don't actually remember. I'm going to feel real stupid if it doesn't. But at the moment, we don't need to be able to produce any of these. This is the only one that makes sense, and if I do have farming plots available and I'm not taking advantage of them, that's basically wasted resources. So we're going to try for this, and if I can find any fertile soil, anywhere at all, that's going to be good. Let's crack into one more of these glades, even though I think that's a questionable decision. We're going to go ahead and crack into it. It's going to give me a little hostility. Yes, that's dangerous. Yes, but we're going to do it and hope that it's the right call. I'm looking for more resources, something else that I can make use of. By the way, we do not have a trapper's camp. I could have gotten that. That would be a way of getting a lot of extra meat, plus some leather. So next time I see an opportunity to get a trapper's camp, that's probably worth picking up. I'm going to go ahead and get a furnace set up over here. I think that's going to be worth having, because I'd like to be able to start producing copper, I'd like to be able to produce bricks at a more efficient rate, and I'd like to be able to get pie, but I also need to find a way of producing flour, and since we did not pick up the provisioner, right now I don't have a method to do that, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. Alright, that's another glade. What do we get? I think I recognize this. It's the fuming machinery. What do we have that'll work for this? Only tools at the moment. Now, some of these we might be able to get otherwise, but I think we'll use the tools. Fun fact, an extra +2 crystallized dew production. I'm pretty sure that works with the farming, right? If we can find a place to actually do any fertile farming, which so far the fact that I haven't found any is making me think that this might have been a map with low fertility on it. And if that's the case, oh, whoops, that's a bit of a loss. Nonetheless, this is a lot of stone and a lot of food, plus so many more of these dang caches. Yes. Okay, the furnace is up and a-running. Is there anything that I'm able to make? Yes, some bricks. I don't have any copper ore yet. I would love to have a way of making coal. That would be very helpful for me. I could assign a lizard here, and it should make them just a little bit happier since this is a good spot, but I think we'll hold off on that for the moment. We can stop producing bricks over here, though, for sure. Not worth it. Next orders come through. Interesting, we actually have less orders. Huh, didn't know that. Burn down a bunch of cysts. Become really good at getting coal. I don't think I'm going to do the luxury goods, so I guess we'll try for this one. I do have to deal with cysts at some point anyway. We already have a clan hall, so this is doable, plus training gear at the cooperage, and we'll get very good at making it and tools. Oh my, yes, this is solid. Oh, yes. We have got to get that arena up and a-running. Well, that's extremely lucky. I need to get this cooperage rebuilt, for sure. Got another trader. Here's the small farm again. That's just torturous right there. The Viceroy Survival Guide? Increase global food production. That's interesting. We could do something with that. Plant fiber doesn't help me, and then insects for mushroom production. We haven't been finding many mushrooms for that either. We could buy a bunch of flour and start making some pie. Let's not forget that that is also an option. I kind of have an excess of tools, weirdly enough. Parts, weirdly enough. So I think what I'll do is I'll at least get a couple of amber so I can get a 20% food production boost. Then I'm going to go ahead and just buy some flour, at least a fair bit of it, and we'll start making at least some pies, and we'll also get jerky out of the arrangement as well. Okay, and before we forget, let's grab that guide. Boom. Okay, so that'll be nice. So over here, pies are back on the menu. We can use lots of different food sources to pull this one off. Let's use eggs primarily because we have lots of access to that, whereas we don't have a way of gathering meat. We could do insects, but I'll hold on to that. Berries we'll leave alone. So flour and eggs turn into pie. That makes sense. How do we feel like we're doing so far during this Viceroy difficulty thing at year 3? Pretty good. My resolve's not looking great, but starting to produce some higher level pies and stuff, plus the jerky is going to go a long way with both the harpies and the lizards, who are the most at risk. One thing we could start doing is getting some specialized housing. That does tend to make people a lot happier. I am going to grab at least one harpy house and maybe a beaver house. I hate to waste some of the building goods on this right now, but I think we want a slight boost in some of the resolve. Just some preparation. And there's some of the jerky coming around. That's going to help quite a lot. Lizards like pie as well. Actually, lizards are the only ones who like pie. Well, that's a shame. Still, we're going to have some very happy lizards, I think. All right, going into the next storm, that means we go ahead and pull back a lot, I think, on some of our wood cutting. Get that down to level 2. I don't even know if we can get down to level 1. I doubt it, yeah. But this is still enough, so let's go ahead and send an extra beaver over here. We'll just start making some tools. We'll start making some planks at a better rate. As far as tools, once you get to like 60, stop. All right, sound good? I think so. Let's also get a couple more decorations up and a-running. We just need to get these built, and we'll have ourselves a neighborhood. Remember, we need to build another hub. The question is where to do it. I wouldn't mind it generally being in this area if I can remove enough of the trees. I say trees, they're really more like giant mushrooms, aren't they? Anyway, this thing gets upgraded. That's an extra 10% to global production. Love that. Let's also keep in mind that now that I have the cooperage up and running, it would make sense to get a clan hall sometime pretty soon. Okay, next cornerstone. What do we get? Crowded houses, more room. Not bad. Urban planning? Probably not. Protected trade. Now, I said I wasn't going to do this, and I don't really have a good way of getting provisions, so I'm not really eager to do this. A way of burning down hostility would be nice, but for now, let's just not worry about housing for a bit, and also get more value out of some of the special houses. I think we'll end up going with this group. A little bit of extra coal plus some leather is nice. And dare we crack this open? I think the answer's yeah. Let's find out what's in here. We've got plenty of resources to deal with it, I'm pretty sure. Okay, what do we get? We have fallen lizard hunters. Well, that's going to make lizards extremely unhappy, which is a shame because I was just starting to get some passive goodies out of them, but okay. Let's go deal with this, and, 12 more food stockpiles. I was gonna say this isn't worth it, let's go for reputation, but this is an endgame reward that I'm already looking for, so let's do that. Still no farms, by the way. I am very seriously regretting my decisions. Since we can't make the lizards happy, as long as I stay positive, let's favor the harpies, because that kicks them up into the positive, and now we'll start making a little bit of extra reputation. Just the kind of small little juggles you can do to get a little extra value. I do want to build another hearth. So let's do this right there. That'll be fine. I could actually consider building a warehouse. I never seem to do that, but it does make sense to have some places for people to drop off resources, especially if you have a few extra spare parts, which I kind of do. So I'm going to set up down over this direction, I think. One here will be fine, so we can drop off resources like eggs, but also eventually a load of stone. You know what? No, we don't need this right now. We're not working too far away from the base. Once we do start working further and further away, though, like down over here, gathering up all this coal and copper, that's going to be a good idea. We should definitely have some way of storing resources faster. Actually, let's go ahead and place down that mine now, I think. Bit of extra... I kind of want the copper more than I want the coal right now, believe it or not. Is that even true? No, I think we want... We'll just do this. This is fine. Let's just go ahead and start gathering all that stuff up, and... Yeah, all right. Let's just do the warehouse. Let's just do it. As far as our next reputation points... Oh, we do have a way of getting some flour. All right. Okay. Well, that could be useful to me for sure. It's probably better than any of the other options, so we will pick up the rain mill. That said, I still have not seen a way of gathering grain on the map. There have only been a couple of sources of insects. I was specifically told grain was on this map, right? We're just getting really unlucky with it? Is that it? One problem I'm running into here is we're really struggling to keep up with basic things like planks. Don't really know why, but my beavers aren't doing the job sufficiently. We do have enough tools that I could crack into a few extra things. Would any of this make a difference? No, not really. The most we could hope for is just some extra amber or maybe some reputation points. And as long as we don't do that during the storm, that's fine. So if I'm going to crack any of these open with my surplus of tools, and I do think we should at some point, let's keep an eye on the time and make sure that it does not happen during the storm. Another order. What do we have here? 20 harmony decorations. Not that good. Rebuild some stuff and have provisions. Also not that good. But maybe better than what I've got right now. 20 harmony decorations. I'm not going to get any value out of this. I guess we'll pick the ruins. We technically can do it. It would be a very, very expensive thing we can do, but we can do it. Hi, trader, got anything good for me? Darn it. No flour. But we could buy a whole bunch of grain or roots and grind it into flour. That's an option. I'm even gonna sell off a couple of excess tools since we are able to make these, but not the grain. Let's do that, and now we can get some value out of the rain mill once again. So I can start making a lot more pie and therefore jerky. Basically, I'm pretty sure what I've done now is I've solved my food issue. We just need to start producing things like planks, bricks, and fabric at a more consistent rate. And from there, get the clan hall up and running, start getting training gear, boost up that resolve, and sit back and try to win. One problem I've got, though, is we're really not generating enough wood in this game anymore. We're gonna have to pull back on all of my woodcutters, try to get us down a level of hostility. Because here comes the next storm, and of course that's going to bring the resolve even further down, and now both the harpies and the lizards are unhappy. We could start burning some coal, and that would make my lumber go a lot further, and I think we have to do that. I might even burn a little bit of coal this way, and as long as we're not at level 3, the sacrifices don't burn 40% faster, so this is kind of fine. We'll just keep the resolve nice and high. I produce some coal, but I'm not going to do this any longer than I absolutely have to. This is mostly just to preserve my wood supply. Next cornerstone, hidden reward for every glade event. We can get some ancient tablets, or trade, or harpy resolve for cosmetics. This seems like the only real choice. Alrighty, and as far as some new people, I actually could really use some more beavers. We need to start producing wood during the good times as fast and aggressively as possible. Okay, there's the reputation, plantation, herb garden, trapper's camp. That's helpful. We can get that for even more food production. Again, not that I'm struggling on that per se, but having an easy source of leather as well as some food is a helpful thing. Plus, I'm pretty sure this is a job that the lizards excel at, so it just makes a bit of sense. Clan Hall is up and running as well. I do have 40 training gear, so this is something we'll be able to do, which is going to make some people a lot happier, namely the harpies and the lizards. Seems there's a lot of overlap between those people. Camps getting 50% more yields would be nice. Does not affect the woodcutters' camps, but still. Okay, and now we are producing some flour again, so the food will be going out, which means resolve should rise for the harpies and the lizards. And in a pinch during a storm, I can just turn on the clan hall and let people start making use of their brawling need. We're kind of okay here. We're not doing, I would say, outstandingly well, but pretty good. We do get to finish this, though, which boosts up my training gear production. We make the lizards happy for every bit of 70 gear, training gear built up, and we're better at making tools. That is such a huge pickup for us. It's outstanding. Holy crud, though, when we're at hostility level 4, that resolve kind of plummets now, don't it? Right, let's go ahead and get rid of some woodcutters for a bit and see how much we can reduce that down to only 3. That is not enough, ladies and gentlemen. That is not enough at all. Last order, pickled goods, skewers, and jerky. Well, I can do 2 of those. Get a lot of wood plus some provisions, get more people. That is an outstanding reward. If I could buy a bunch of skewers, I would do it in a heartbeat. This is so good. We'll pick it up on the off chance I can buy a bunch. We'll see. I don't feel like it's extremely likely, but we can try. Other things, packs of building materials. I don't even know if I can make those. I don't think that I have a method now that I think about it, and that could become a problem. Nope, I do. The rain mill can make packs of building materials. We will use bricks, since that's something I'm apparently stacking up a fair bit. I don't want to make more than 10 of these things, though, so if you find yourself with nothing better to do, let's go ahead and start getting those out the door. Ugh. Okay, that was a rough storm. We need to get our resolve back up for sure. Prosperous settlement. Every time we sell a load of amber, we get resolve. Not bad. Rebellious spirit, some resolve would help. And work safety guides. Every 5 villagers with education boost production. Well, technically we sell a lot of goods to traders, so we could get 40 amber worth and just start stacking that up. But I think I'm going to pick up the rebellious spirit. It just sort of seems to work for me. There's a whole load of flour and stuff, sure. No skewers, but, you know, it's something. Anything you want to buy? Well, I mean, we can just check to see if anyone wants ancient tablets, but I'm going to go with probably not, making sure. All right, let's sell these and just get a load of amber. And the question is, what do I want? Woodcutters move faster, wine production. I do technically have a cellar, don't I? Or longer drizzle durations. I'm going to pick that up for sure. The less time I have to worry about the storm, generally the better, I think. And then, yeah, we have a way of getting, wine. Let's remind ourselves what this recipe looks like. Take berries, mushrooms, yeah? And barrels. You know what? I actually think that this could be worth something to me. I'm going to go ahead and sell a load of this off, and we're going to get the +2 to wine production. Okay, more people. Clay, maybe, for bricks and everything else? Sure, I guess, that's fine. And since we are almost completely out of fuel, guess what? That means more beavers get out there. We are heading right toward hostility level 5. This will be the highest I've ever gone on hostility. That's a little scary. Unfortunately, the mine is already out of copper and coal. Okay, so nothing to be done down there, and you can't move this. There's a load of copper. I would love to find another source of coal because fuel has been an issue. But I don't see much. I only see a bunch of stuff over here. This is an okay spot for an extra mine. If we can move the woodcutter over here, maybe we can clear a little bit of space. Okay, we farmed out one more reputation. What do we get? Tinctury, artisan, provisioner, brickyard. Well, I don't feel like any of these do what I need, to be honest. Coats could make the beavers happy, yes. But that's kind of it. Pigment is going to be made... Well, you could make it out of a bunch of things, actually. So we could technically start producing our own pigment. Can do that here as well. The provisioner's tempting, but I think I'm going to re-roll here. Guildhouse, Druid's Hut, Smithy, Cooperage. The oil is okay. Can use that as a fuel source, and I think that that is something we are going to have to do. Start taking meat and turning it into fuel. Okay, so we got that. This is actually a good spot for harpies. So, for example, let's not have anyone working here in the cellar. Let's instead move them over here. And yeah, let's start making as much oil as possible. This might be a get-out-of-jail-free card for me, sort of. Oh, we do have our building materials. Perfect. So, rain mill. Don't make those ever again. Don't waste my materials. Let's go ahead and turn that one in. Some extra tools plus some clothing. That'll make the beavers happy. A little extra reputation is okay. Need for jerky has been fulfilled. We're just really lacking any sort of skewers. Could start doing the provisions, but we haven't even rebuilt ruins, so who cares? Blight Raw cysts. What I don't understand is why we haven't been able to build this yet. So we're missing one decoration. Let's make that a high priority when we get a little bit of lumber in. Okay, economy's starting to look a little bit better now that we're producing oil. I do have some extra fuel coming in. That's kind of a big deal. Really need to get more happiness for a lot of my people. If I could start building out, let's say, some extra lizard houses and so on. I'm just looking for anywhere we can get some extra good stuff. I think we assign a lizard over here to the clan hall to start fulfilling some brawling needs. I like that I'm producing things like pickled goods and wine. We don't have a market yet, so the wine doesn't do me a lot of good yet. But if I could have gotten a guild house, or if I can get a market, we'll find a use for it. Otherwise, it's mostly just a trade good, to be honest. The pickle food, on the other hand, makes our beavers a lot happier, and you may have noticed our resolve has jumped quite a bit. It's also about to crumble because, well, we're going into the next storm. Ugh. At least we can get down to level 4 easily enough. This is a really good spot for a mine. Plenty of copper, some coal. I like that. We might need to crack into another one of these glades sometime in the near future. I need to find out if there's something else I can make use of, something that's going to help me here. And yeah, the lighter treatment on the harpies, it might buy me just a little bit of time. Our resolve's pretty close to where I need it to be right now. Okay. Yeah, we're kind of holding our own here. Get some more people, kind of during a storm, which is a weird time to arrive, but all right. This is going to be, yeah, you can see how much hostility you get out of bringing in 4 more people. It's a lot. It is a lot. I'm not going to lie. All right, next cornerstone. Leftover crops. Gain provisions from herbs. No. Woodcutting is easier. Yes. And then, ooh. All solid, but yeah, let's go for much faster woodcutting. That way I don't have to place down a 3rd camp to keep up with my economic needs, at least I hope. This mine is at maximum corruption. Corruption actually does tend to do other things, like very high corruption can lead to, for example, a high chance of doubling production, right? Workers move faster. Like, it's weird, but Blight Rot actually can be a good thing, sort of. All right, so in here we've got a destroyed Rainpunk Foundry. Okay. Take a bunch of tools, I guess, to finish this up. What do we get? We can start producing our own parts and infuse tools. Oh, what? Well, that seems outstanding. Now, of course, if we work on this, the corrupting power of the rain is seeping through the machinery. Every 90 seconds, a piece of living matter is... wow. So we're going to start getting a whole load of living matter, which is going to be awful to my food supplies. That said, 6 minutes! Holy crud! Or crystallized dew for berries, blah, blah, blah. No, this is the obvious choice. Okay, we have to do this. I need to send 3 people, and this isn't too many tools, and being able to produce my own infused tools would be interesting. It does take the same recipe as tools, but also throw on some spark dew. If I can make that work, infused tools are just literally better. Hey, look, a carpenter. Oh, man, if only I had a use for that. Ooh. +2 to stone production, that's strong. The trader has arrived. Hi, who are you? What do you got? Fabric production actually could be kind of helpful since I've been behind on a lot of that. Villagers moving faster is nice, and coats production I don't think I can do. Is there anything I'm willing to give up? Sure, a wildfire essence is kind of unnecessary, and I will trade that for some amber so I can buy the perk, plus, I don't know, we could go for some extra food. I actually could really... Nah, yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and grab a little bit of extra... Let's say grain. I'm pretty sure I get more value out of grain. I can turn that into more flour than if I bought it. Okay, another reputation for me. The cookhouse. We can start making skewers. Hello, that is something we needed. Also, we know that the guild house is a use for wine. I actually think that's going to be better for me. I would like to have gotten the skewers, but, I mean, if we can use our wine to start getting a lot of extra welfare, that's kind of a big deal. Now, the great thing about living matter is you do get rewards every time you deal with this. So, technically speaking, if we wanted to let the living matter really stack up, that'd be one thing. It's just that it uses up so much of my food. That's the danger. Oh, right. We have a mine over here, and we haven't actually been doing anything with it. We probably should. Okay, so we have 2 neighborhood hubs. Let's do this. That gets me reputation. Plus, builders carry extra items. Plus, we get extra tools, which lets me do even more stuff. Our reputation is currently sitting at almost 11. And there's the last point we are going to get for something. No. An herbalist camp to start getting mushrooms is an option, but it's not a great option. I'm going to do a reroll here. Temple? I don't know about that one. An explorer's lodge. See, these would get me the way of getting education, but I don't know about that. Biscuits is okay. I don't need more ways of making pie. Making coats would actually also be a way of making the beavers happy. Because that's the thing. The biscuits can make both the beavers and the harpies happy, yes. But I mostly just need to get the beavers up, and I'm not going to have this clothing buff for long. So I'm going to go ahead and try for this one and have another use for my fabric, because as of right now, we're not doing much with it. The big issue I'm seeing with the living matter is it is just churning through my food right now. We're going to run almost completely out of this stuff. It's a good thing I can produce so much of it. All right. Next storm. This one's really going to hurt. I might have to start burning some extra stuff. I don't really have much to burn is the problem. Oh, I could almost get it down. Okay. Well, we can definitely get it down to like level 3, but even that's not enough to make the harpies happy. You see sort of the problem here. And accepting more people while tempting won't actually save me anything either. Oy vey. We really need to get this guild house built up because this is a way of making people a whole lot happier, especially my beavers. So, oh man, we need a lot of stuff. We really do. We jump back up to level 4 because I'm out of coal and wood. That's how much we burned just now. Holy crap. And now we're up to level 5 too. All right, I'm probably going to lose 1 or 2 people here. I don't really see any way out of this. We're kind of stuck with what we've got. Oh, boy. All right. Well, at this point, I don't see any downside to just accepting more people. So let's go ahead and take on a few more. And let's get some folks working at the guild house and at the clan hall so that people can start using up their brawling needs. I'd also like to have someone else working on getting some training gear. And we're almost completely out of planks. Of course we are. Okay, we survived, but only barely. This is starting to get a lot worse. Okay. Reinforced axes again, stacking up on that even further. Seems good at a time when I'm really lacking in any wood. We're also starting to have problems with food, believe it or not. I thought we were going to be fine, but we are not. The big issue is I'm running out of a lot of basics like eggs, which means I can't make pies, which means we're not making jerky as well, and we're losing some resolve out of the arrangement. The beavers, at least, are starting to get some luxury, so that's a good thing. Trader, you got anything that's going to save me here? Longer clearance duration sounds very helpful. No. Fuel burning longer could be helpful, believe it or not. I like the idea of the woodcutters moving faster. I'm going to sell off the last of these wildfire essence. I'm going to buy a little bit more amber, and then I'm going to buy this. We're going to try to make my fuel last a lot longer so I can burn down hostility when needed, but holy crud, if we do not end this sometime soon, we're in trouble. What I need right now is just a load of tools. If we can get a lot more tools and start cracking open these caches, we've got it. I'm not gonna lie, this kind of feels like my last year. If I don't get this, I think we're gonna start burning off way too many people, and it's not gonna work. We're producing some spark dew. If I can just get these, if I can get these infused tools up and running, they are twice as effective at clearing out caches. So I can start making tools at a much better rate here. I just need the spark dew to start catching up. Do that, there are definitely enough caches around that we can win the game right now. I just need the tools to go with it. That's all I'm lacking right now. Last round of people. We'll go ahead and just take, I guess this doesn't really matter too much. We are out of scavenging. We're running out of a lot of things in general, actually. I am barely off on tools. I just need like one more tool than I've actually produced there, and I need just a couple more tools in order to crack this open. So if we can do that, we've got it. I have only about a minute till the next storm. We are oh, crud. Wait a minute. We are probably not going to be able to do this. We do get reputation during the storm, right? It doesn't reduce impatience. That's fine. Let's go for checkmate anyway, even if I'm not going to reduce impatience and I get a slightly worse score as a result. That's okay. Oh, gosh, a whole bunch. 5 people died? Holy crud. I mean, I knew that the level 6 was really bad, but 5 dying? That feels a little excessive, don't you think? All right, here comes the last tool. We are 2 minutes-ish away. We are going to get this done during the next drizzle. All right, painful, very painful, but we're about to win. Actually, we're also gaining a lot of reputation per minute right now because the beavers are happy. Well, fantastic timing, guys. Couldn't have been feeling a little bit happier a little bit sooner there, huh? Right, anyway, so which comes first, I wonder? The extra 0.3 reputation or the, oh, nope, the reputation. We didn't even need the tools. Gosh dang it. I spent so much time trying to make that work. Whatever. 175 XP, 96 food stockpiles, and ladies and gentlemen, we have beaten our first map on Viceroy difficulty. Was it perfect? Not at all. But we got through it nonetheless. Unfortunately, my score fell behind and I don't get all the extra resources. Oh well. So out of this, we do, however, get 37 more food stockpiles, some machinery, some artifacts. Not the best, but at least something. It's a load of content that we unlocked during this particular cycle. And now we can end it, let the storm come through, wash everything away, and then go to the Smoldering City and get myself a few more much-needed upgrades. Plus, we get some deeds with some cool stuff. Ooh, we get a different trader. I've never seen you before. Well, that's going to be cool. A new decoration. And more decorations with comfort value. Water barrels. Ah, nice. So let's get an extra embarkation point. We could go for... We can only go for one more thing. 10% permanent construction's tempting. Or more trade routes. Or we can have different options here. 2% to all global production's not bad. And I really don't know what this whole Royal Expedition thing is. I'm going to find out. Let's pick up the daily expedition. All right, I'm going to do a lot more playing on my own time. We're going to take a small break from Against the Storm. I'm going to explore. I'm going to try to get a whole load more upgrades. We'll come back to some of this stuff. Ooh, there's some fun things here. Barren lands, flooded mines, scary. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, I would ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell. And I will see you guys next time.